So I have a thought on something that we need to encourage our state lawmakers, our state AGs to do and to do as often as possible and make it very, very public. So what I'm thinking about is the fact that we have to slow down ICE or basically make it so people really don't want to join ICE. We want to make it radioactive to be as a part of ICE or do anything that ICE does. So what I'm suggesting is our state governments go aggressive against ICE. So we need to have basically like show trials to go through the list of charges that can be thrown against members of ICE. So like things like I'm not a legal expert, but from people that have covered content with very legal sounding language, I think this is somewhat encouraging. So there's apparently a whole list of laws that ICE is violating that are beyond state crimes. Like they're civil offenses, they're state crimes. Trump can't protect them from these things. And it would result with members of ICE basically losing everything. So even if they do get these $30,000 bonuses that they're promising with this ramp up in ICE funding, effectively they can have the book thrown at them. And I think this needs to be made very, very public. It should be basically a promise by governors, especially in blue states and cities, that you can lose literally everything and be forced into bankruptcy and probably serve jail time. Like you can lose your total freedom, and also talk about the psychological effects of engaging in harmful acts towards people. Like we're talking like serious PTSD. There's a reason why the Nazis had to change their tactics on how they got rid of human beings, because it had a psychological effect. Like most of those guys were like drug addicts. And we also need to start basically having like Nuremberg style trials. Like I think we should be taking action as a class against members of ICE, because they're not doing what they're doing in any sort of legal capacity. Like you cannot go around in masks and just kidnap people. Like you have to identify yourself. You have to give some kind of identifying information. You can't go around driving around in like states and cities with no license plates. Like law enforcement needs to know who the hell you are. And I think they need to deputize citizens to just start like writing tickets for not having plates that the ICE agents get hit with and potentially lose their driver's license. I think anybody caught doing illegal kidnappings, obviously they should be charged, but they should lose their license. I think it should be a permanent thing on their record. Like have fun not being able to drive around anymore. I've seen posts of people going after them because they can committed infractions that if anybody else did it, they'd get their vehicle towed. I think they should have, like, I think the state should be saying, listen, if you're going around and you're not doing lawful and legal law enforcement, you're effectively impersonating an officer, and those have charges that are associated with it. So we basically need to ban ICE from doing their illegal actions in all of our states and cities. So please, try to get messages through your state representatives and your lawmakers and your state AGs to get behind this kind of effort, because we can expect an increase. And also, like, if you happen to know anybody who's a member of ICE or somebody who associated, you need to message like their families. Like, listen, you guys are going to be at risk because of what the individual in your family is doing to people. You guys are not going to be able to survive this financially and socially. Like you guys will face strong ostracization. And also don't be afraid to get out there and protest. Just pay attention, know your rights. For those that are pursuing citizenship here that don't have full citizenship, please make sure you have all of your paperwork in order and have a family plan, and make sure you have like legal representation set up and there's instructions for what to do if you go missing. I'm really sorry all this is happening to you. It's the most anti-American thing. in my view of like what it means to be an American, we just in America we shouldn't be doing this to people, to anybody. I don't care who you vote for. You should not be supporting illegal kidnapping of people. You should not be okay with people that are following the legal process to be snatched up, and to like the Supreme Court was just flat out wrong. I don't think it's a final decision yet. I think it's just part of the case where there's like a stay, but like they said it's okay to send people to like war torn countries, third countries, which is completely ridiculous. That's anti-constitutional. It's clearly against many of our constitutional rights. So my heart breaks for those people. So I think it's going to be up to the states. Like Republicans want to sit there and call, states' rights all the time, but they're ignoring the state law. They're ignoring precedent, like the idea that they could send in the National Guard into Los Angeles, which is completely absurd against Governor Newsom's. Like Governor Newsom was opposed to that because it wasn't necessary, and just because like ICE got like stuck in a building for a little bit because they were illegally kidnapping people in the community, and people have a right to speak out and to stop harms being done. Like in other parts of our history, people have done things that the government would probably consider breaking the law, but judges often side with the people that are trying to obstruct harm being done. Like we as citizens have a right to do that, and we should do that. Like at all parts of this, we need to peacefully resist. We need to use our freedom of speech. We need to stop the harm that's being done. And we need to make that case. Like if you're about to go out and do anything, state clearly in a video before you go and make sure you get it to a lawyer or something in case something happens to you, that like you are witnessing state sponsored domestic terrorism and you're seeing people being harmed by it, and state what you're planning on doing that might infringe on some of the laws, but you're trying to address the greater harm being done. And it's heroic to risk your ass, so to speak, to stop harms. Like that's what America is really all about. People that actually believe in American values and believe in patriotism, it's standing up for your fellow man even when you're risking your own ass. I agreed to that when I swore an oath. I believe that that's implicit by me being an American citizen. The idea is we're supposed to be better than what we're seeing right now being represented in our government, this regime. And it's not a government of the people, for the people, by the people, because we have a bunch of billionaires in office that are servant to other billionaires that fund them and back them. And the things that they're doing are not good for America. They're not. Like these trade wars are not good. Us basically being a pariah state along with our only ally that we have left, Israel, engaged in a genocide. We're engaging in an ethnic cleansing for, as far as I can tell, based on what they're saying, they're doing, and why they're doing it, for people that are close to Donald Trump and this regime. It's packed full of Fox News idiots whose only qualification is they lie for a living, and you have MAGA people calling people that are stating facts like they're just sheep because they repeat what the news says. Well, the reality is like our news isn't perfect, but when they're reporting on the facts, that's the facts. So if you have a problem with how that makes conservatives look, that are basically Confederates again at this point, they've returned the type. They are enemies to this country, enemies to this country's people, and enemies to our democracy. And they're making everything more unsafe. Like we had flash flooding in Texas. Why? Why did people die? Because Doge did some serious cuts to the National Weather Service. So they're not able to do as accurate weather forecasting because they don't have as many of the weather balloons going up. And they have less professionals on the job now because they did a whole bunch of firings. So that endangers the lives of people, and it endangers, the people that are responsible for making decisions in emergencies. It renders them basically helpless. So we're watching a lot of, the Republican taxes on all of us that are non-traditional taxes. It's just harms that are being done because we have an anti-government extremist party in power that's funded and backed and fueled by billionaires that just believe in no regulations, no legal challenges, and no taxes or lower taxes. And that's what the wealthy believe. They don't understand that Society runs and operates on professionals that actually know what the hell they're doing and properly funding and staffing things that are essential for all of us. You can be pissed off about what science says about something, but science is it's based on empirical evidence, and we have people that are anti-empirical, anti-intellectual, anti-government extremists, and also anti-freedom. They're anti like liberty and justice for all people. They want a white ethno state, just like Israel wants a Jewish ethno state. And we see what that does. We see people being kidnapped. We see people being bombed, sniped in Israel, I'm saying. We see Palestinians being treated as less than human. We have Latinos in this country being treated as less than human. We have people that are of mixed documented status being treated as less than human. And who are the only people that these people stand up for? Wealthy, white, rich people. And that's it. And we can't have that. So, states, we got to do our thing. Blue states, blue cities. I would prefer that, people that call themselves Republicans stand up for their fellow human being and say, this is not right. And this is not how I want my tax dollars to be spent on a bunch of thugs. I don't want my money to be spent on a Gestapo force. I'd rather my money be spent on people getting health care, people getting housing, people being able to be into, making a strong economy by people having more money to spend and to invest in all of us, instead of a bunch of rich people taking money out of the real economy and sending it to some tax haven in some little project somewhere, or buying their eighth yacht. It's not that hard. So I hope you hear this, and I hope you help me get the message out, because these are things that we really have to do. We have to slow the bleeding that's happening right now in our country. The blood is the harm that's being done, and they're planning on ramping it up, because that's what the funding shows. And the major harms that are going to come from this stupid budget bill, that's a suicide pact for America, that's going to crush rural America, especially. It's going to hit red states and cities and districts more than blue states and cities. But it's going to take time. It's a time bomb. It's going to go off in like 2027, 2028, I think. We're probably going to see some damage before that. But yeah, it's ugly. And they plan it for the most of the damage to be done after the midterms. And who knows what's going to happen with the midterms. I'm nervous about whatever he might pull. He being Trump and the Republican Party, because they're always up to something terrible. Those guys can't govern. They don't want to govern. They don't want a government. They want an authoritarian in charge, and they show it. They bow to one person who is the most horrific human being to ever get that power. He's the worst leader, I think, in world history, to be perfectly honest with you. I see no leadership qualities, and he's done nothing but damage since he's taken office. The only people he advantages are wealthy people, and wealthy people are not good for society. They just aren't. You have to make them be beneficial. You have to. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I love you guys. Thanks for following. To my 29 subscribers on YouTube, thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. Checking out my content. I'm growing on TikTok. I've got like a little over 1,000 followers on there, which is pretty cool. It's like 1,077 or something like that. Blue Sky, not that much. Red Note, oddly, more. Like 300 and something like that. Anyway, thank you all. I appreciate it. And stay safe out there. Keep resisting peacefully. Guys, we can't do violence. Violence will just justify legal authority that we can't walk back from, which is not what we want. That will limit our options significantly. Don't do it. You have lots of other options. Boycott the terrible billionaires. Get out there, protest, call your elected officials, talk to people, form and strengthen community. That's how we get through this. We get through this together. Okay? You're not alone. I promise you, you're not alone. Bye.